is quite a big difference between shutting down a building completely and actually operating a building that's minimally occupied. If you shut down a building completely, you're putting it into what we might call mothballs. It may involve actually shutting the equipment down. You may be draining the cooling tower. You may be draining the plumbing system. You may be winterizing the building, and it's not ready to restart. So once you actually shut a building completely down and maybe put minimal heat on it, maintain it through the winter, it's not ready to run. You can't actually occupy the building and run an HVAC system. Now, when you're doing an unoccupied building, it's much like what happens on a Saturday and a Sunday when you're actually have very few people in the building. You're actually putting in a reset schedule. You're in some cases you're eliminating the lighting in many parts of the building except the emergency areas, or maybe the areas that have to be lit for getting in and out of the building. The HVAC equipment is being reset. You're not maintaining at 72 degrees and a certain humidity level. You're actually going to reset so that the equipment doesn't have to work as hard or as long, and you're going to save energy. So there's a real big difference between shutting a building down completely and putting it in an unoccupied mode. And we don't recommend shutting the building down completely when you have minimal tenants, because obviously they won't be comfortable, and it's not really good on the equipment either. You're not going to be able to maintain the equipment properly. So some of the considerations that you need to think about when you do actually shut down the equipment, not even put it in unoccupied mode, you're actually shutting it down, is you want to make sure that it is shut down properly. An example might be if you're discontinuing the use of a chilled water system and you have a cooling tower, then you're going to want to drain the cooling tower, and you're going to want to make sure that everything is locked out and not able to run, so the energy management system won't turn the system on and off. You don't want that to happen with a tower that's not full of water, things like that. So you have to secure it perfectly when you're doing it that way. If you're actually just putting it into a mode where it's not going to be used as often, then it may be what we might call an unoccupied mode, and but big difference in shutting it down. So you want to secure it in such a way that the energy management system that's operating the building doesn't try to start it. So that's one thing to think about. Right now is the time of year when we are normally starting up our HVAC systems for the spring. It's the normal time in most parts of the country. Between April and May, you're getting your system started up. Now you may be thinking about, now what do I do now? I've got a minimally occupied building. Do I really need to go ahead and do that? And we do recommend that you apply the same principles that you would have when you're doing startup. Essentially what you're doing is you're getting your equipment ready to run. Now, why would you do that in April or May if you really don't need it because you don't have a full building? You have to think about what's going to happen. When people return to the building, it's going to be June, it might be July, in the warmer months, and you don't want to be sitting around trying to figure out whether your system's going to run or not. So we do recommend that you get your systems ready to run right now to the extent that you're able to. If you can bring people in to work in the building, we would recommend that. Get it ready to run, and then put it in an unoccupied mode. And then when the team comes back, your employees start entering the building, then you'll be ready to run the system, and it'll actually work and perform for you like it should. For more detailed information and support on considerations for shutting down your facilities, contact your building expert at Johnson Controls. We have the equipment, the technology, and the services to help you. We understand and can guide you through stimulus and other procurement approaches. We're part of your community, and we're proud to help power your mission.